Hello, 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 hello. I am going live, hoping that some of you can join me. Q&A. I get people asking me questions, so I thought I would come on here and answer some questions. Come on here for about 30 minutes. If anybody has questions for me, please put them in the comments. I hope you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. Fitawari Fitness, thanks for joining. I appreciate you joining today. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who is joining today. Oh my goodness, I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Diguiola Inc. Thank you for joining. Nini Smith, thank you for joining. I appreciate you joining this live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes, you can hear me. Fantastic. I appreciate you letting me know. Thank you. Um, Thank you so much for joining. This is a Q&A session, so this is dedicated to you, those of you who follow me, or if you're new here and you've never seen me before. My name is Ivy Prosper, and I talk about Ghana, the African diaspora, changing the narrative of Africa. And today I wanted to come on here and do a live stream about 30 minutes to answer any questions that some of you may have. I do get questions from people or comments you may have about Ghana, about Africa, about what's happening in the world today. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I just had Deguoya Inc. say, "Are you not in Ghana? It should be dark." Yeah, it should be dark in Ghana. I have, yes, it should be dark in Ghana. It is dark in Ghana right now. So that tells you the answer to your question at this moment. Um, yeah, I've traveled, so, but I still am keeping up with some information and keeping up with answering your questions um, about Ghana, Africa, and beyond. So I appreciate those of you who were joining. Let me know where you're joining from. I wanted to talk a little bit about there was an opinion piece in the Washington Post recently that was titled "For African Americans Tired of U.S. Hostility, Ghana is Still Calling." And there was a video that journalist Roland Martin did. Roland Martin actually visited Ghana in 2019 most recently. It wasn't his first trip, but he most recently visited Ghana in 2019. I had the opportunity to meet him when he came, and he, is talking about this topic. And then there was that opinion piece in the Washington Post. I see someone's here from Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for joining. That country's on my bucket list to visit one day. So, do you feel like people are still choosing to come to Ghana or to other African countries because they're feeling hostility where they're coming from, particularly those who are African Americans? We're hearing those stories that African Americans feel a sense of hostility in their own country and are looking for a place to go, and Ghana happens to be one of the places that they choose when it comes to um, travel, relocation. What are your thoughts on this particular topic? And then right now in Ghana, there's actually some protests happening by an group that calls themselves Arise Ghana. There's protests happening, and because of the economy, there's a lot of Ghanaians who are feeling the strain of the economy. Now, this is a global phenomenon. It's not only happening in Ghana, but people in Ghana are feeling tired. So there are a group of people who have been protesting right now and hoping that the government and leadership will respond to some of the angst that they're feeling in regards to the economy and some of the challenges being faced with that. And then recently, Kendrick Lamar was in Ghana, and he recently released his video about a day in Ghana, his short documentary about his experience in Ghana. If any of you have seen it, I would love to know what you think about his experience. I have a question here from M. Hi, Ivy. Where's the best place to exchange our currency when you arrive in Ghana? I'm from London, UK. Well, the best place to do it is just to do it somewhere that is trustworthy, is what I'll say. I know there's a lot of times people get to the airport. The airport has a place you can change your money. Um, they don't, people say they don't always give the best rates. So when you go into town, you can find Forex. When you go into town, you can find a Forex that can do the exchange for you. So, because there's people who will come up to you and say they can change money for you, but I don't necessarily trust, I wouldn't trust random people coming because of the fact that there could be there could be fake money, there could be counterfeit money if you just find someone on the street. So for example, sometimes when I'm walking through Makala Market, or I'm walking through Medina Market, or in Accra Central, I'll have people who come up to me and they're like, do you need change money? Or even the market in Tema, they'll be like, are you looking to change money? You looking to change dollars? And they like have wads of money in their pocket and they want to change money for you. I wouldn't trust those situations because you don't know if they have counterfeit cash on them. So going into the mall where there's a Forex is trustworthy. The hotel, some hotels have a Forex, or they can tell you where to go. But well, I'll tell you this: you don't want to change too much money all at once in case you don't spend it all, because you can't carry that money back to where you're coming from. Because outside of Ghana, if you go to like, if you're like going back to the States or going back to Canada, going to somewhere in Europe, the banks won't change Ghanaian money for you when you get there. So you'll be left with trying to change your money when you're here before you leave, or trying to spend it all if you've changed too much. So it's a good idea not to change too much all at once. Do it as you go. But that being said, what I will say is it's good to have cash on hand for a lot of places that don't use cards. So if you go somewhere that accepts your debit card or your credit card, it's a good idea to use it and then save your cash for those scenarios when you need cash. Or like if it's a Sunday when you might not find a Forex that's open and you need to have cash on hand. You can also use your debit card to take money out of the machine. That's another thing. I know a lot of people who travel to Ghana and they don't even carry cash with them. They take money out of the ATM machine with their debit card or their credit card. Just make sure that your card has a Visa or MasterCard emblem on it, because you can take money out of the machine. Now, I'll tell you this: when it comes to taking money out of the bank machine, I usually trust Standard Chartered Bank, Stanbic Bank, ABSA, which used to be Barclays Bank. What's the other one? There's a couple of other ones, UBA Bank, and I think GT Bank. So there's certain banks that I trust when I use my debit card. Like if I use my Canadian debit card, I used to have a US debit card that I would trust in those machines to give me to take my money out. If there's any technical issues, they're usually quick to respond if you have any technical issues with the machine. Those are the banks that I personally trust from my experience. Now, I know a lot of people who've had problems with EcoBank. EcoBank is a West African bank. Actually it's a Pan-African bank. So it is in various countries across Africa. Now, the challenge I have had with them is sometimes if you take money out of the machine, it could take you like 30 days up to like 3 months to get a problem rectified if you take money out and the money doesn't come out. Like, for example, I know someone who went to take money out and the money didn't come out, but the machine said that the money did come out. Then they had to contact the bank, they had to contact their own bank, and it was like this whole long process, and it took more than 3 months for that particular person to get his money. The other one that I know people have had problems with was, I think it was the Bank of Ghana. Is it the Bank of Ghana? I'm trying to remember now. But so the ones that I would trust are the ones that I named to get money out of the machine. So that's another thing. If you don't want to change money, to use your ATM card to take money out as you need it, because then you get the exact direct exchange rate of that particular day when you take your money out. The other thing is, when you come with cash, if you have smaller bills, you will get a lower rate. So if you come with $100 bill, let's say $100 US bill and you go to the Forex, you will get the exact exchange rate of the day. If you go with a $20 US bill to exchange the money, they will give you a lower rate of your exchange than if you exchanged a $100 bill. So I advise that it's best to change bigger bills if you want the exact best rate of the day. If you come with $5 bills, $10 bills, $1 bills, some places won't even want to exchange it for you, or they'll give you a really poor rate. So it's good to consider that the bigger your bill, the better rate you're going to get on your exchange when you bring money to Ghana to do an exchange out of Forex. I hope that helps to answer some of your questions. Thank you. Fitwari says, Fitness says, what I did was change USD into single dollars and change money as I needed. One thing too is in Ghana, a lot of people, when you go to buy stuff, they don't have change sometimes. So if you give someone like 50 Ghana cities and then you're at the market or something and they tell you they don't have change, or the Uber drivers, the taxi drivers, they'll tell you they don't have change. So it's a good idea also when you exchange your money that you also ask for smaller notes. So if you take your money out of the ATM machine, a lot of ATM machines in Ghana give you 100 cities or 50 city notes. What I often do is I'll go somewhere like the gas station, because the gas stations always have lots of bills, and I'll ask them if they can change my money, because taxi drivers and Uber drivers and other places sometimes don't have enough change to give you when you give them the big notes. Okay, so let's see who else. Oh, the other comment. I saw another comment here. Thank you for answering my question. Very informative. I'll be there in December, so not expecting to bring any money back due to it being expensive period. Yes, December is a very expensive period in Ghana, and it is very important that you plan well. Plan your time well when you come in December for Ghana. Things are more expensive, and you also have to plan your time, because there's going to be a lot more traffic, which means traveling from point A to point B will take you a longer period of time. Yes. So let's see, what else? Does anyone else have any questions? As I said, I'm here as a Q&A to answer your questions or comments that you may have, maybe about other videos. One thing I also want to mention, let me see. I have Antonio says, do you still have to be vaccinated to enter Ghana? If there are any ways around it, it might be. Yes, Ghana's still asking for you to be vaccinated to enter the country. They are still asking for vaccinations. If you are not a citizen of Ghana, or if you're not a resident of Ghana, they are still asking you to be vaccinated. So if you do not want to be vaccinated, that is almost an impossibility to get around. I have heard stories of people who said that they were able to get around it, but I am not here to encourage you to find ways to get around it, because there's people who have tried to find ways to get around it and have been successful, and there's people who try to find ways and then they've not been successful. So when I say they've not been successful, for example, people who've attempted to, they get to the airport and then they're refused boarding, and then now you've lost your money on your flight, because now your airline doesn't want to give you your money back, because they're like, well, you knew the protocols and you still took a chance. So that's what I mean. If you take the chance to try to, because I've heard people tell stories that they were able to get past it. And that becomes an issue of human accountability, or human error, or human decision. So the person that person got when they got to the gate to get in is probably the one who let them get by, whereas most of the people are going to be more strict on it. So it's a chance that you would be taking if you want to take that chance. But for now, Ghana has still maintained its strict policy of vaccination for non-citizens and non-residents. If you are a citizen of Ghana, or if you're a resident of Ghana, then you can come to Ghana without being vaccinated, but they would have to be tested at the airport, and then they would have to go through quarantine. So that's what they do for the citizens and residents who are not vaccinated. So I hope that helps. M says, I'm most definitely planning to events while in Ghana. Do you know when Afrochella tickets will be on sale? I don't know when they're going to put their tickets on sale yet. I do know that they announced that they're going to be December 28th and 29th, but they have not announced ticket sales yet. I would suggest going to afrochella.com and then you subscribe to their list, and then they'll send a mass email out when the ticket sales are open. What I do know is that they are accepting vendors. So if you are watching and you're a vendor, you somebody who wants a table or a booth to sell merchandise or services of food at Afrochella, or if you want to have some kind of artistic exhibit, that kind of thing, you can also reach out to them. They are accepting people who want to be involved in Afrochella, December 28th and 29th. So that's what I know, but I know ticket sales have not been released yet. Let's see next. Do you think there's opportunities in the creative industry in Ghana? I see a lot of Nigerian and South African content on Netflix, but no Ghanaian. Thank you for that question. Netflix Africa made the decision that they were investing in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. Those are the three countries that Netflix has made a commitment to support financially with supporting creation of content and pumping more of their content on Netflix. So that's why you're seeing more of Nigeria and South Africa. And then there's a series from Kenya that's going to be released, I think, next month. So that's why you're seeing that Ghana hasn't been getting the support that those countries have been getting. So of the 54 countries on the continent, Netflix only chose Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria as the three places that they were going to put all of their efforts into with promoting content. Now, so there's not really much that Ghana can do with that respect, but I know that there's a lot of Ghanaian filmmakers and creators who have been really trying to up their game in what they do, and the Black Star International Film Festival has really been working towards trying to build up the content. The National Film Authority has been working towards trying to get content creators and filmmakers to really be able to make quality content that would get to the level of being streamed on Netflix. So I hope that answers your question as to why. I know there's a lot of people in Ghana who are not happy about that. There are a few things from Ghana that are on Netflix, but not a whole lot when you compare it to South Africa and Nigeria specifically. So the other thing is the Nigerian film industry has a lot more happening in general. Nigeria is the number 2 producer of film content in the world. Number 1 is Hollywood, of course, and then number 2 is Nigeria. Number 3 is India, Bollywood. So Nigeria is a big player in the game. They have a lot of people backing them. They have a lot of support. They support each other, and they're constantly creating and putting stuff out there. So they've kind of become a powerhouse on the continent of Africa already as it is. So I'm not surprised that Netflix was really pumping into them. In 2016, I was at the Toronto International Film Festival, where they made Lagos, Nigeria, the city that they focused on as the city to watch. And there were like so many people there who came in from Nigeria to support the promotion of film and television from that country. And it's just really showing how much it's flourishing. It's just growing and growing and growing. So when it comes to Ghana, I think one of the challenges the industry has is there's a lack of support from investment, which makes it hard as a creator if you don't have access to some of the tools needed to produce some of the content you want to create. And then the taxes are really high when it comes to importing of goods. So let's say you see a camera that you want to buy, and that camera is what would, make a difference in your production. You may see, some sound equipment that would make a difference in your production, and then you want to import it. When it gets to the port in Ghana, they charge you 50% duty on it. So for example, if your camera was $1,000, when the camera comes in, you're paying $500 of duty on top of that $1,000. So that becomes $1,500 to bring that in. And if you're a creator who's starting out, you don't have much of a budget, that's a lot of money for someone in Ghana to be bringing in equipment. So it becomes really difficult for them to be able to do some of the things that they want to do at the level that they want to do. One of the biggest challenges I find in content in Ghana too is sound. Sound is one of the biggest issues as well. So streaming services like Netflix are going to look at that. If your sound isn't great, if you have a great film and a great story, but your sound isn't great, then they're not gonna use your content. Also, there is a certain format that you have to have for your content, and somebody may not have that. Like you see sometimes television in Ghana is still on 720p. Somebody who creates film might know what I'm talking about. Film and television, it's on 720p instead of it's not even on 1080p. It's not even on HD. A lot of these people are doing, there's people doing 2K, 4K, people doing 8K. This my Samsung phone can film in 8K. And so and the Samsung phone and even the iPhone, like the phones those are expensive here as well. So even if somebody wanted to create on their phone, the phones are expensive as well. So it gets to be a challenge creating on the continent. So it's one of those things. But until the day that hopefully Netflix decides to pump into Ghana's industry, so that people can be able to do some stuff, that would be really great to see. So I do appreciate that question. But creativity, there's so much opportunity for creativity in Ghana. You just have to be patient, and you have to be willing to be working from the grassroots level. You have to be willing to put in the work, willing to really push the work that you're doing. So thank you so much for that question. Anyone else have any question about Ghana? Anything about content? Anything about some of the things that I've talked about? There's a lot of people who are moving to Ghana and other African countries, but I also get a lot of people asking me questions about going to Canada, believe it or not. I get a lot of people asking me questions about going to Canada, people who want to go to the US, people who want to go to other countries, and they ask me questions. It's usually Africans asking me those questions, while people in the diaspora are asking me questions about coming to African countries, coming to Ghana. So it's just interesting, the dynamic. And it makes me actually think today. I'm in a WhatsApp group where I saw that there were some Africans who were being shot at in somewhere near Spain. And of course, these are people, migrant workers who are trying to get there, trying to go to places in Europe to flee for what they're seeing as better life opportunities. Unfortunately, on the continent, there is the dynamic of if you're born into a situation where you feel like there's no way out, you are actually taught and believe that the only way out is to go to Europe or go to North America, Australia, or Asia, wherever it may be. So and some of the situations, I'm not going to dispute, there are some places and some scenarios people have that is challenging, and those of us, people like me who lived in the diaspora and go back, we have to also admit the privilege that we have, because we have lived somewhere else, we have seen the other things, and we are able to see the potential. We are able to realize and recognize some of the things necessary to get things to the next level. Whereas somebody who's never gone somewhere else, they can't see it. They don't necessarily see that where they are, may present a great opportunity. My mom was talking about buying this grain I've talked about before called fonio, Fonio. Fonio is a grain that grows in West Africa, and it's a grain that is quite healthy. And while many West Africans don't appreciate this grain as being something healthy, people who are abroad are looking at it as an African superfood. So that's an example of not appreciating and not seeing the potential in something in your own land. So this West African superfood, fonio, is being sold, places like on Amazon. If you live in North America, Whole Foods. Whole Foods is like this place that sells healthy stuff. People who are really into the healthy lifestyle, they spend extra money to go to places like that to buy their foods. And so this African superfood, let's say you're going to farming, you could be in farming in West Africa and farming fonio and shipping it abroad, and that could become a great source of income if you're doing fonio. I believe that Ghana has the best pineapples in the world, the best tasting pineapples. You could be a pineapple farmer and you're exporting your pineapples. But I know that the farming industry is tough because a lot of farmers don't get what they deserve on their crops. It's something that happens. So there's so many different things that you see potentials for when you are a person who's lived abroad and then moving back. So let's see, what are the comments. Noir Supreme says, why only 3 countries? That Netflix sees those 3 countries as the countries with possibilities for creating content. I guess that's why they've chosen those 3 countries as places with quality, potential to quality content, the storytelling that's being done already. So Noir Supreme says, Nigerian music is dominating right now. It sure is. It really is. Renetta, greetings, beautiful. Thank you. Noir Supreme, is there a Ghana film school? Yeah, there's a film school called NAFTI. It's the National Film. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't remember. I can't remember what the acronym is. NAFTI, NAFTI, National Film and Television Institute. That's it, National Film and Television Institute. NAFTI is one of the top schools in Ghana for learning film and television production. However, I strongly believe that there are still some things that they could do a little bit better, because some of the graduates that come out of there are some things that I see could be improved. But yeah, that's the school that is known for film and television production in Ghana. People go there when they want to study film. Denvis Atkinson, thanks for joining from Fort Lauderdale. Yolanda, greetings, love your content. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Lamont says the grass always looks better. Get rid of COVID vaccine. Yes, a lot of people have been saying that they feel that Ghana should get rid of that. But unfortunately, for those who don't want to get vaccinated, that is something Ghana still has in place. I don't know if they'll ever lift that. I really don't have the answer to that question. But if they do, I'll certainly inform you. African Excellence Movement says China developed due to the diaspora coming back home. Brain drain doesn't benefit a country. A country needs brain gain. Western countries are getting rich off the skills of African. They definitely are. Beautifully created by Ya says, are there many chocolate shops made and owned by Ghanaians? There is a large chocolate production in Ghana. The thing about cocoa, Ghana is one of the biggest cocoa exporters in the world, Ghana and Ivory Coast. However, their cocoa is exported raw. And so companies buy it and then they process it and they do what they do to make things like Snickers chocolate bars and all those other things. But there are locally made chocolates in Ghana that are quite popular. One of the old school brands is King's Bite, but there's other brands that have come up that are really becoming popular, different types of, whether it's dark chocolate. There's one brand that I tasted that had chocolate with ginger in it, one that had specks of like a spice in it. So there's so many different types of chocolates that people are making in Ghana. So the opportunities are there if you want to come and create and then ship it out, export it out. Question again here, do you know when the vaccine restrictions will be lifted? As I mentioned earlier, I don't know when that will be lifted. Trevor says Africans seeking to leave the diaspora are in different stages in the Maslow hierarchy of needs. This explains a difference in desire. It does explain a difference because, and also different lived experiences, because those who've lived abroad have experienced what's happened with the dynamic of the systematic racism that exists, and also the people who are in the continent of Africa. They've been sold the image of the West is the best. They've sold the image of greater opportunity, land of milk and honey, and so they feel that the only way to make it is to escape. So they have different desires. People who are leaving really usually feel like they know that they can get better somewhere else, or they can get respect. They feel a sense of peace, a sense of a limitless life, because it's like when you go to places like Ghana, you feel like I can do A, B, C, and D because I see that black man is a CEO over there. I see that black man who did this company here. I see that black woman who's doing this there. So you don't have that limitation in your mindset because you see the possibilities. So I feel like you're right about the needs. Thank you, Ivy. That's good info about chocolate. You're most welcome. Um, so when it comes to somebody was asking about resident permit, when it comes to getting resident permit, you have to actually live in the country first. Usually, typically, people will come and they'll be in the country renewing their tourist visa. And then typically, if you can get a job offer from a company, that particular company is the one that would write a letter to help you get a resident permit and a work permit. So if you, excuse me, if you are able to get a job from a company, you could do it that way. Otherwise, it's done by actually living in the country. So when you come and you stay under your tourist visa and you renew your tourist visa while you're in Ghana, and then you go through the process of applying for the residency. I know some people who've been able to get residency in less than a year. I know some people who've gotten residency in less than 6 months. Some people have done it in less than 3 months. I really strongly believe it has to do with how much you really want to do it and following up. Because one of the things in Ghana is a lot of things are slow in the system and you have to constantly be following up on people, or you may get lost in the cracks, you may get forgotten. If you are a black person, a member of the diaspora community, you can actually go to the diaspora affairs office and talk to them about writing a letter to help, a letter of support to help you get your residency. Because in Ghana's constitution, it actually says that there's a right of abode. The right of abode basically means that it's a right of abode for people of African descent, which basically says that black people, anybody of African descent, which black people around the world can come to Ghana and live in Ghana, that they have the right to live in Ghana. And so under that, you can use that as your premise, the right of abode. That has been law since the year 2000. So it's been a law for a long time. It's not brand new. Just a lot of people don't know about it. So the right of abode is the name of the law. And under that premise that you're allowed to stay in the country, and then getting a letter of support from the Diaspora Affairs Office, and then going through immigration or the immigration to get your resident work permit or residency permit. That is the process. But as I said, I know people who've done it in less than 3 months. I know people who've done it in less than 6, and I know people who've done it in less than a year. So it's all a matter of how diligent you are. But you cannot do it remotely. You have to actually be in the country to do it. But when it comes to work permit, you don't necessarily have to be in the country if you are offered a job. So for example, I knew someone who was offered a job with a corporation, and that particular corporation is the one that helped them get their work permit before they even got to Ghana. So when they traveled to Ghana, they traveled on a work permit, not on a tourist visa. So it depends on the route you're going. And now when it comes to looking for jobs, it's best, if you're looking for a job in Ghana, it's best to do it before you actually get to Ghana, because you can actually get a better salary if you're not in the country. So, for instance, I know of people who they got recruited from abroad, and so now you have negotiation on your side because they want you to leave to come to them, so you're able to negotiate better because you are not in the country yet. So it's a good idea if you use resources like LinkedIn to connect with people in different industries to figure out what it is you want to do depending on what your skill set is. So I usually suggest people, if you're looking for a job, to look before you come to see what you can be offered before you come. That's my piece of advice. But if you want to just go to Ghana, you can certainly just go to Ghana and start looking for work. But it is hard when you're looking for work on the ground, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people become entrepreneurs. When becoming an entrepreneur and you're registering a business, if you are registering a business and you're not a citizen, you're not a resident, it does cost more money. So it's easiest if you do exporting, because if you are exporting goods, you do not have to be a citizen, you do not have to be a resident. There is not the exorbitant fee for you to register a business because you're exporting, excuse me, you're exporting as a foreign business. So let's say you're coming from, Canada, or you're coming from the US or something, and you've registered a company in your home country, then you come to Ghana, then what it is you're exporting the goods to go outside. So let's say you're doing shea butter, and you're exporting the butter from Ghana to go to, Florida or something. And so now you're doing it as a business that's based in Florida that you're exporting it to. So then that becomes your flow of business and that becomes your flow of income as an exporter. It is easier to do that than to try to register a bricks and mortar that you're trying to do here on the ground. Exporting is easier when it comes to the logistics of it all. So, yeah. Excuse me. Let me go to the comments and see what anyone is saying. Before I forget, I'm coming to Ghana at Christmas time, and I want to bring a hygiene care package for young girls, around 100 packs. So can you recommend a school or community that I can donate to? Sure. Can you send me an email, M? Please send me an email, and we can go from there. info@ivyprosper.com is my email address that you can send it to. Or I'll even comment on this afterwards to send you a comment if you don't remember my email, to email me so that I can give you suggestion for what to do or who to bring it to. Beautifully created says, what are the other races of people aside from black melanated people that you see that live in Ghana? I see Indian people in Ghana. I see Lebanese people. The Lebanese have been in Ghana for a long time. There are some that have been in Ghana for generations, where they feel that they are Ghanaian because they've been in Ghana for generations. I know Italians in Ghana who've been here for generations. Some of them have been here since, their families have been here since the early 1900s. Some of them, like, I know of some since the 1940s. And so they've been they're born in Ghana, and their kids are born in Ghana, and so on and so on. So I've seen that. And then I see the Europeans. The Europeans that I see typically are, a lot of them are coming for missions trips, or they work with embassies. They work with certain businesses, and they're here for a few years and then they leave. That's typically what I see, some of the expat community. Somebody asked, I want to hang out with people that are around my age. Oh, I think I saw somebody ask something about places for people over 40. People, you go to places in Ghana and there'll be people over 40, there'll be people in their 20s and people in their 30s. There's like a whole mixed bag of people. But I places like Plus 233, the jazz bar, it's an outdoor jazz bar. I find that place tends to have people who are more mature, like older people there. They'll have live bands performing, and food, good food, and it's an outdoor venue. I usually see people who are more mature at that place. I used to find front back used to have more mature people, but I find that now that it's shifted down. I see a lot more people in their 20s there, and in their 30s. They've kind of adjusted, but I used to see more people who were more mature at front back before, but now it's become a huge mashup of ages there. But Plus 233 definitely is a place that I always see a mature crowd. Also, the Gold Coast, it's a restaurant. They have live bands, live performances there as well sometimes, and they have karaoke night. I see a more mature crowd there too. They're in cantonments. And Plus 233 is in the Ridge area. Excuse me, I feel really dehydrated, so my apologies on my voice. And where else? It's mostly, a lot of it is mostly, there's a lot of young people partying when you find the places that are like party after party after party. But the clubs, social events like, dance. A lot of people like salsa, kizomba. Like, there's different types of dance that people like. Those kind of events sometimes attract a more mature crowd as well, I find. And hotels. People like to go to hotels to go and listen to music and sit by the bar, chat, meet people. That's what I find personally. But overall, a lot of people, no matter what their age, they still go to some of the same places. You'll see. So, yeah, that's what I find. I hope that answers your question. Would you call Accra a melting pot city? I would call it a metropolitan city. I would call it a metropolitan city. So there's a mixture of different types of people. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna mesh. I always think of America as being melting pot, where everybody tries to be one type of person. I mean, not saying everybody tries to be one type of person, but um, what I mean when I say that is, in America, you'll find that when cultures come together, people kind of start to mix it up, if that makes sense. But in Ghana, people, even though it becomes a metropolitan city, people still cling on to their culture and they still cling on to what they're proud of and stuff. So you'll find Accra has a mixture of all kinds of people from all over the country because it's the big city. People move there hoping to make good money. They hope to change careers. They're supporting their families back in the village, back in their hometown. And so you'll find that there's a huge mixture of people from across Ghana and then a mixture of people from around the world who choose to come to Accra, because a lot of companies, when they come to Ghana, they often headquarter their businesses in Accra. So you'll find a mixture of people from around the world. Um, yeah. Let me see. I'm going to, somebody asked, is Accra expensive? I keep hearing that it is. I would like to live with the amenities of a big city, but I want to live in an area which is affordable. Yes, Accra is expensive, relatively speaking, when you compare it to the rest of the country or other parts of Africa. Accra is considered to be an expensive city. The other thing is, people talk about Accra being expensive, that it's not what people expected. People expected they would come and it was cheap. So, for example, some of these apartments and some of these houses are being sold or rented in US dollars. So you can be in Ghana and find an apartment that is $1,500 a month, just like in downtown Toronto. So people will come and they'll be like, whoa, the rent is the same. It's not even any different. And that is when you're trying to maintain the same amenities, the same lifestyle, the same kind of look and feel as what you're used to when you've moved from abroad. If you're willing to go down a bit, then you can find places that are a little bit less or that are going to charge you in Ghana cities. I do know of people who pay like less money, but they live a little bit further out from the city, or they live with less amenities. So that's something to consider as well. It's always a good idea if you find somebody local on the ground helping you to look for rental places as well, because sometimes someone local on the ground can get you a better price. They won't quote some exorbitant price because they'll think it's a local coming to rent the place. Sadly, that happens. They hear somebody foreign and then they may charge rent that's significantly higher than they would if it was somebody who was, already here in Ghana. So, and if you're going to be out, eating all the time, going to different places, it can end up costing you a lot of money. You can end up spending a lot, particularly if you're trying to eat at places that are matching the lifestyle of living in cities outside of Ghana. So people are going. All right, the internet was acting up. The internet was acting up. Are you all still here? The internet was acting up, and I think it's going to start acting up. So I'm going to have to end this live stream before it gets worse again. So I was talking about the expense of living in Ghana. Yes, Ghana is expensive, and it's all relative though, because if you look at, let's say a meal is 50 Ghana cedis, that 50 Ghana cedis is less than $10 for some people. If you're earning in US dollars or in British pounds or Canadian dollars, then it's not a lot of money. But if you move and you start earning in Ghana cedis, then you start to really change how you think, and you start to realize that things can get expensive if you keep spending like that. Now, the cost of gas in Ghana also is extremely expensive ever since all of this global world crisis has been happening. That that is another big expense. Electricity is pay as you go. You prepay on a card, you load it. So that's also something to get used to. Trevor Baum said Canadian Dumsor. Even Canada has network issues. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's funny. um, But outskirts of Accra, like Oyibi, Amraya, Tutu, Dodowa, Fenya, are more affordable. Yes, those places are more affordable, definitely. You can buy land for less, you can buy properties for less, you can definitely have more for less when you go outside of Accra. But I know that that question prior was about Accra specifically. A lot of people like to stay in Accra because their work is in Accra, the things they do are in Accra, and so that causes the challenge of people wanting to, I mean, people thinking about going out. If you're in East Legon, Fred says it'll be in East Legon. No, M said it'll be in East Legon. East Legon is great. I used to live in East Legon. Loved it. The only challenge is that you deal with a lot of traffic if you have to go into town. Leaving East Legon and going through that tunnel, the traffic is absolutely insane. So, Tech Farm says before you rent an apartment, you must pay 6 or a year out deposit, which is unlawful. It's unlawful actually in Ghana. It's against the law. You are not supposed to ask more for more than 6 months rent up front, but a lot of landlords actually ask for 1 year. Some of them even ask for 2 years up front, and that's what makes it difficult. You could have savings, and now you've put all of your savings on paying a year up front rent or 2 years up front rent, and then now you're left scrambling because all your money went into rent. Now, then next thing you know, when that 2 years comes up or 1 year comes up, you've got to come up with that money again. So it makes it challenging when you have to pay for where you live and then try to find money to do the other things you need to do. So that's something to think about. BW Samson says, any new regulations in regards to citizenship for diasporans? Nothing else since my previous, I did a live stream where I talked about the Homeland Return Act. Nothing has changed since then. They are still on the draft, still working on the draft of the Homeland Return Act, which is supposed to make it easier for diasporans to get citizenship. In that particular one, it stated that the draft proposal is living in Ghana for 3 years before you get your citizenship. That's the draft of the Homeland Return Act. Yeah. Tech Farm says 700 USD a month in Ghana is decent. You can get a place for $700 a month. That is possible. Definitely is possible to get a place for $700 a month. It won't be in East Legon, and it won't be in airport area. It won't be in cantonments. Cantonments is really expensive. I know people in cantonments who are spending like $3,000 a month. So it depends on where you are as far as rent. You could find a place in Tema for $700 a month. There are parts of Accra that you can get $700 a month. I'm not saying you can't. It is possible. So, Sean John says, hello from Harlem. We love you here. Keep up the work. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I currently have traveled out of Ghana. I will be back soon. And so, yeah, I'm not gone for a long period of time. I have somebody at my house. So I know someone was concerned about me saying that I'm not around. But I do have someone at my house. So my house is nice and secure with somebody there. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to the comments again and see how is Tema in terms of social life and living. Tema is like really residential, and it's also partly industrial. So part of Ghana is Tema is very industrial because that's where the port is. A lot of people don't realize it's like one of the biggest ports in West Africa where things get shipped. So it is heavily industrial on one part of the city, and then the other side has the port. So the one side that's industrial, you see there's a lot of like, bottling companies, companies that do some manufacturing, and that is like on going towards like Community 25, Community 26 area, and so that area you'll see, and there's a golf course on that side too. That's where the golf course, the center of the world golf course is. So yeah, so and there's the old side of Tema, which is the side that was developed and designed by Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. And then there's the newer sides of Tema. So Tema is divided into communities, community 1 up to 26. So community 1, community 2, community 3. And then there's like no rhyme or reason as to the order of where they're placed, some of them. So it's like you think that community 1 would be right beside this one or that, and sometimes it's just not in order. But Each community has its own quirkiness. You can tell which ones are the older ones, the way the houses are built, the way the houses were designed, and then you can tell where the newer ones are. There's a little bit more space between homes, because initially a lot of the homes in Tema were built for people who were working in some of these industries. So they were kind of like starter homes, and people lived in these homes, worked at the industry, then went home. So it was like close to where they worked, not far from where they were working. So the older part of Tema, you see that type of layout. But people in Tema they love to party, they love to go out and have food and dance. So you'll see like some, quite a few spots around town that have people outside listening to music, having their grilled kebabs, having their grilled fish, watching their sports games on big screen TVs. So there's quite a social life of people, but it tends to be a little bit more localized compared to Accra. Accra has more foreigners in it than Tema does. Tema tends to have more of the local community who have been born and raised in Tema. Not as many foreigners in Tema as there are in Accra. But there are more foreigners making the decision to live in Tema, living in places like Community 25, or the other side of Tema, Sakamuno, which is close to Spintex Road side of Tema, because there's some developments happening there as well. It's not far from the Junction Mall, and so some people are looking towards that side of Tema as well. It's also not far from the Beach Road, so there's people who prefer that side too. So it depends on what you like. The other side of Tema tends to be closer to the motorway, so it depends on what you prefer as far as your lifestyle goes. But what I've been told for people with kids is that some of the best schools are in Tema, is what I've been told by some people. So yeah, so that's something to consider as well. Yeah. Kofi says, I didn't know that you was on here live. Yeah, I'm here live. I am live. I'll be going off soon because the internet actually cut out for a minute. And it cut out for a minute, so I may have to just end. Yeah. And actually it cut out. I think the plug came out because I went and pushed it back in. So then it was fine. Fred, hello Ivy, glad I was able to catch this. Hi Fred, how are you doing? I know we chat once in a while on Instagram. Hope you're well. Yao says, I was just about to say your background is not GH. It's not, you're right. It's not. I am not in GH at the moment. Hello from Harlem. Okay, I saw that one already. But yeah, it's the sun is shining. Yeah, definitely not GH. I mean, the sun shines in GH, but it is 20 after 7 p.m. and the sun is shining. That is not the case in GH. It would be pure darkness by now in GH. One of the things I love about summer in North America is the way that the sun doesn't set until like 9:30. I love that. I've been confused by the time because I'm so used to Ghana now. So yeah, anyway, so I've been on here for almost an hour, and I'm gonna wind down now. I want to go sit down and grab something to eat, have a drink, relax, and yeah, so I just wanted to say hi, what's up, answer some Q&A from some of you. Trevor says, will you visit NYC? I'm not sure. Someone else asked me the same question. A friend of mine who's in New York asked me that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it that way. I will make a trip to the US at some point, but I'm not sure if it'll be New York City. Although New York is like one of my favorite cities in the world. Like New York is one of my favorite cities in the world. So hopefully I can make it to New York City. We'll see. I'll let you, you'll know if I do. But likely it would be Instagram first that would find out if I do end up in New York City. But yeah, so thank you everybody who's been on here. I've been on here for almost an hour now. And let's see, what other question? Ivy, you coming to Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania is very unlikely, but thank you for that question. If I do pop up there, I'll let you know. WC, I was just in GH and I should have reached out to you. That's okay. I hope you had a good time when you were there. Mr. and Mrs. Gold YouTube, thanks for joining. I'll be chatting with you soon, Mrs. Gold. I'm sure I'll see you very soon too. I'm just settling in. Fred Kofi Odum says we're chilling in Ghana, NYC, gonna be later. Tech Farm, when are you going to come to the US? We would love to have you. I will be coming to the US at some point. I just don't know when yet. So, but you'll know. Ivy, always looking so beautiful. Thank you so much. I try. I'll thank my parents for making me, my mom and my dad. I'll give it to them. Give them the trophy for what they what they did for me to come. So thank you. Um, the Hugh Clark's Chronicles. Are you coming to Atlanta? You know, I was just talking to my sister today about Atlanta. I haven't been to Atlanta in like, I think probably like 15 years. I know that Atlanta has changed a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So yeah, but I'm not sure if I'll make it there on this trip. But thanks for asking that question. Um, Noir Supreme says NYC is overrated in my opinion. Next question. Did you get a chance to interview Kendrick Lamar? I did not. I was actually sick when he was in Ghana. I would have, but I was sick. I was in my bed, sick. Yeah. So I unfortunately did not get to meet him or interview him when he was in Ghana. He did go to the Diaspora Affairs office. He was given the Beyond the Return Kente sash and all that. And the film he was producing, a friend of mine was helped to produce that, the short film that he did that was sponsored by Spotify. And so yeah, unfortunately I missed out. I missed out on all of that. I missed out on all of that, but it's okay. I mean, I think it's great that he came. I think it's great that he produced. I mean, released his album while he was in Ghana. I think that's awesome and amazing. It just goes to show that there's a lot of people who are seeing Ghana or other countries in Africa as the way to go when it comes to creativity, because there are places that people go just to get away and get creative, and I think it's pretty cool when they choose to come to Ghana or any other African country to do that, because it is definitely like a center of creation. I mean, you see fashion designers and all that getting inspiration from Africa for decades now and not giving Africa the credit, but I'm glad to see that a lot of these music artists are doing it and talking about being in Africa. Kofi says, have you been to Niagara Falls? I'm going at the end of July. That's so funny. I grew up 15 minutes from Niagara Falls, so yes, I've been to Niagara Falls many, many times. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Today, Canada announced that they've just opened up a new place that you can go to view the falls from. You go underground. I think it's like 200 meters or something, down this elevator. It's like a glass elevator. You go down, you get to this platform, and then you go out, and it's a space that you can look at and see the falls from, see the view of both the US and Canada side, because Niagara Falls is, they call it a horseshoe, so half of it is in the United States and half of it is in Canada. So this new platform that they've made, you can have apparently it's a panoramic view of both the US and Canadian side from down below. So that's a pretty cool thing that they've just done. Maybe I'll check it out while I'm in Canada. So yeah, I grew up 15 minutes from Niagara Falls. I know the area very well. It is a place that I frequented often. And the US, Niagara Falls US side, I frequented often. We would cross the border. Back in the day, we didn't have to use passports back in the day growing up. We would just walk across the bridge, which was kind of cool, to get to the US, and Americans would do the same walking across. But it's not as easy now as it was back then. Now, you're going through the whole process is a little more than it was back in the day when it was a little bit more relaxed. So yeah, I mean, like, even high school students would walk across the border. You just show your high school ID back then and cross the border, but it's not like that anymore. You got to have a passport to cross the border. So anyway, thank you everyone who's joined today. I am going to go and edit a video now, a video from when the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, his wife, the First Lady, Anne-Marie Davis, came to Ghana. She came to Ghana and went to the western region, Busia, western region, to see the Ahanta people. And I put a short video of that on Video Short, and I will have the extended video to show you more of what that was like. It was awesome just to see and to see her experience it and her dancing with the masqueraders and stuff. It was pretty cool. So I will, yeah, I'm gonna head inside and edit that video. And so thank you so much. And I will, yeah, she was dancing. It was really cool. I will, sorry, I was responding to a comment I just saw from Beautifully Created by I saw the post. She was dancing. Yeah, she was. She was enjoying it. So, so yeah, I'm gonna edit the full video and post it within the next few days. So, for now, I need to go get something to eat and relax. And next time I'll give you some advance notice for when my live videos coming because I do want to do a couple more lives. So I'll give you advance notice, post it in the community posts so that you know when the next live is. So thank you so much, everybody who's been here today. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye.